In this video, I'll be reviewing your Pokemon, and more specifically, this is a submission posted by PaperTiger Lily in the nirtheart Discord, in the YouTube My Mon text channel. Now, for the month of October 2024, if you become a YouTube member, you can also post 3 Pokemon in this YouTube My Mon text channel, and I'll make a video like this. And so Lily has got a Wigglytuff as one of her Pokemon, and presumably she has left a message here. Hope you enjoy the nicknames. I can't explain any of them. They just come to me. My current healer, my newly evolved bean specialist, and a mystery. I'd love analysis on that Eevee especially, since it's got a number of options for evolutions. Right, yeah, we'll have a look at all these 3 and let's enjoy the first Pokemon, which currently is a Wigglytuff at level 29 named Windows PC. Interesting name choice, quite unique, memorable, I like it. The first thing we're actually going to reveal is the nature. It is a brave nature, and that's quite nice on the Wigglytuff. One thing you will run into issues with though, with the Wigglytuff easily if you have too much speed compared to enough skill triggers, is you run out of inventory space before you get to really have any chance of banking even 1 trigger, hopefully 2. And that can be a little bit frustrating. Now I've already put in the hours and it seems to be evolved twice, so it all checks out. Now this Wigglytuff overall is really nice. It's got even more speed, unfortunately, compared to that skill trigger M, but it just means you have to play the game a little bit more often and check in and yeah, maybe not use it overnight as much. It's got skill level up M, and at that point you can just clap your hands. You're all good. You got a Wigglytuff right there. That is great for early game healing. It's not going to run optimally perfectly all the time, but if you're a little bit softer on the nap side of the game and you just run it 24/7 and tap it often, for the most part, you're going to have a decent boost to your overall team production. I see that this Wigglytuff has main skill level 5, which is essentially you're doing things exactly by the book. It is crazy. So this just sets you up perfectly to do a long-term hunt for Rolts and evolve it into Gardevoir and then dump the seeds into it. I don't know if you are a free-to-play, premium, or whale. Presumably, since you've posted this Wigglytuff, you're fairly earlier in the game. And so, yeah, if that is the case, then this Wigglytuff is just exactly what you wanted to find. You have the skill level up M and some other benefits. And here you just got a whole lot of speed, and on net, that's a great benefit. This Wigglytuff has a few interesting things later on though. It's got ingredient finding S, which, whatever. But it's got berry finding. Oops, I just cracked my thing here. It's got helping bonus too. So if you could just like want this to level 100, you would have a major inventory issue. Let's just see what that is like at 2,000 hours, 31. I mean, it wouldn't be bad necessarily. Helping bonus, berry finding, it kind of cracks most Pokemon. And you have some speed too, so just ridiculous. But yeah, it's just a little bit of an eye candy. What if with these level 75s and 100s on this Wigglytuff. So in my opinion, I would do as you have done. Keep it at level 29. Don't level it up to level 30 unless you really have to. Wouldn't be a huge letdown, but this is kind of nice. You won't run into inventory issues as frequently. But then again, if you do get to 2,000 hours and just stack those before you get that nice long-term Rolts, then yeah, that's going to be quite nice. So Windows PC, hitting all the marks of an early awesome healer. So congratulations on that. It just sets you up to justify that long, like crazy hunt for Rolts, and you can just flex your pristine Gardevoir eventually. Man, would I like to be you. So we have a Golem called Splenson. Also don't know what that means, but I can see this is quite a nice golem. So let's have a look at it. That was a Geodude. Almost. There we go. And we have the resetting here. We can reveal it is mono beans and mild. And at that point in time, we can also check in the presumably it's been evolved twice. It is level 20. That is way early for a golem. Yeah, it seems to be evolved twice. Everything checks out. And at that point, I would say this is a home run. You have mono beans, ingredient finding up nature. And like there's nothing else you would really want here that would not be just full on greed. Now, for the most part, when I evaluate the mono ingredient specialists personally, I like to find the mono list, of course, and then 1 to 2 supporting traits. Now, on the golem, that ingredient finding nature is huge. Like, look at that rate. It's 34%. And so, like, just not even looking at the skills here, that's quite nice. It's got the skill level up S. Golem has a high skill rate, so it can do something, but it is fairly slow. So it has some speed, why not? And with some speed, mono ingredient list, and the mild nature, the only thing you could really dream for would be ingredient finding M, which it also has, pushing that rate almost to 50%, which is ridiculous. And if you push this one all the way to level 75, it gains more speed, and all the way to level 100, more skill trigger. Very strange Pokemon. Maybe you can even consider this if this is just like, if you like Golem a whole lot, I would just go like this. And you're a premium, of course. Don't waste the sub-skill seeds if you're not premium. You can have a ridiculously fast Golem, mono ingredient list. You have a great nature, a whole lot of main skill levels, and a decent rate at 7%. So this is a very funny Golem. I like it a whole lot. And congratulations, like, you'll be sold for beans. And it seems like beans is one of those ingredients that just seem to be needed in ever larger quantities. So get this Golem as fast as you can, a level 30 at least. And then also I would say 50, because that ingredient finding M at level 50 is ridiculous. All right, let's hide around these hopes and dream scenarios, which kind of is the reality here. You just have to subseed it, which probably doesn't make sense anyway, but it's just, if it's one of your prime Pokemon, I would kind of consider it, just because that was a very nice Pokemon. All right, let's hop over to the last Pokemon in this submission, which is a shiny Eevee. Whoa, that is ridiculous. I didn't see that before now. I just saw a glimpse of the stats. So we're gonna put up Eevee, and we're gonna put up not evolved. Nope, there we go. And it is level 10. The nickname is Crunch Wrap. Not bad. All right, we're gonna reset these real quick, and we can reveal the nature is impish, and it is an ABC ingredient list, so full on mixed. For Eevee, it is a skill specialist. So you would presumably want some skill in there. Now, it has an ingredient finding down nature, and it has the berry finding. And it's got some inventory. That gives you a little bit of options. You don't have any skill triggers until level 100, and it's skill trigger M. That's way off into the future. It's got the skill level up S here, which can be nice, depending on the evolution of your choice. And at level 50, it has helping bonus. So this is a berry focused evolution, and for that, I wouldn't recommend Sylveon. I wouldn't recommend Vaporeon. I think a Vaporeon, you would want more skill related stuff, just because ingredient magnet is a little bit of a toss when it comes to the main skills. It can be incredibly useful if you have a lot of skill stacked and you build your team and strategy around it, but you get a mix of ingredients and that can be a little bit challenging. And so potentially Espeon. Espeon has a really cool shiny, it's green. But even for an Espeon, I think you would want some sort of skill related stuff. I think because it is berry finding and some inventory and that helping bonus and the skill level up S and the skill trigger M. Now, the way I see this is, given the fact that it is a very, very focused Eevee, you would want it as high a level as possible. So in my opinion, this is a very, very rare case where you can actually consider the level 100. You can also just immediately sub-skill seed this, because if you're going to bother carry it to level 100, you might as well. And at that point, it's not looking all that bad. You got ridiculous inventory to balance out the berry finding. You got helping bonus to make up for the fact that you kind of have a decent nature. And then you have skill level up M and skill trigger. And in my opinion, if you have skill trigger M and the nature, and then potentially some speed, that's just the gold standard. So actually, this is a very nice Eevee, and it is shiny. So I think this one is very worthwhile to just grind to level 100. Like, depending on your playstyle and collection and all that, you may just settle on this and grind it to level 100. And yeah. Thankfully, you don't have EXP gains down, and ingredients down here is quite nice. It stacks nicely. And then the question is, which evolutions do we consider? So we've tossed out, well, Leafeon, we're not going to consider. It's not a good Pokemon, and I don't think this makes sense as an Umbreon either, because even though it is not apparent, very skill focused, it has inventory. It has helping bonus. It has skill level up M and skill trigger M. It's just in a little bit of an awkward placing here, but it kind of makes sense. So no Leafeon, no Sylveon, no Umbreon. And so we are stuck with Vaporeon, Jolteon, Espeon. Have I forgotten one? Probably have. Flareon. Yeah, Flareon is also not a good idea. Glaceon is not a good idea. So we have Jolteon and Espeon and Vaporeon. I don't think Vaporeon either makes a lot of sense. You want to just stack as many triggers as possible on the Vaporeon. Although, arguably, if you have a very strong Suicune, you may go for it as just a combo thing. But I think Jolteon or Espeon makes a lot of sense. Jolteon has a kind of cool shiny too. And in my opinion, now with the old gold power plant, I would make this Eevee a Jolteon. And I think a lot of you guys watching would probably agree with that, because it's got everything kind of going for it. Jolteon you can kind of run without having to care too much about the main skill. And I mean, so basically, zoom it to level 50 as a primarily berry Pokemon at the Greengrass Isle. You will get a decent chunk of triggers. Actually, let's make it into a Jolteon. It's very rare that we bring up Jolteon, but here it is. So it's got a fairly low skill rate, but that is actually common among all these extra helpful Pokemon. Let's see if we can hide here. We can compare it to Gallade, which I believe has the highest. It's got 5.4, so you can see there's not a whole big difference between these two. 4 and 5.5, kind of, I guess, but Jolteon is a decent bit faster, but still Gallade takes the cake. All right, but what if you have that very focused Jolteon with a hint of skill? Then this is where we end up. Now, if we hide the skill trigger M and the skill level up M, then you're gonna just look at a blank 4% with a very low ingredient rate. Look at this. This is super low, 12%. The berry finding, inventory, and the helping bonus. That is quite nice. We're gonna put these back up. We're gonna do the skill level up M and the skill trigger M. What I'm thinking personally is you could potentially just zoom it to level 50, use it as a generalist very focused Pokemon at the old gold power plant. And then long term, if you can zoom it all the way to level 100 as a shiny evolution, then maybe it would be worthwhile then to dump some main skill seeds into it once you get that, either the level 75 or the level 100. But either way, if you end up having this as a Pokemon you use a lot and you really like, then yeah, you might as well just put some seeds into it early and get to enjoy those seeds all the way to level 100. But that's a little bit of a personalized call. Like, it depends on your collection, play style, and goals and all that stuff. So overall, I would say this is an evolution of some kind. Maybe it is an Espeon. I too would like to see more skill related stuff on the Espeon, just because that is mostly where that value is going to be. But even as an Espeon, like, if you have a favorite shiny evolution, you might as well consider it either way. It will work to an extent, but I think either Espeon or Jolteon are really the prime contestants. Maybe also Umbreon, although I don't think Umbreon is a good Pokemon. So yeah, thank you for watching.